This is the Global Economic Commodities Scrap Metal and Recycling Report by our Bentley Roll-Off Trailers and Gondola Trailers, May 23, 2022. Weekly crude steel production rose to 1.785 million tons. The U.S. industry remains under pressure due to imports and supply chain issues affecting demand. The U.S. dollar index. The U.S. dollar versus other global currencies. When the U.S. dollar index goes down, commodities priced in U.S. dollars usually goes up. The dollar index fell to 103.1, caused by softness in the U.S. economy and the U.S. Federal Reserve saying they would risk a recession to lower inflation. WTI crude oil price fell to $110.28 a barrel, staying high. This was on declining Russian exports, but on looming recession concerns. U.S. weekly crude oil production rose 0.1 million barrels per day to 11.9 million barrels per day, which has been mostly flat for the past 5 months. Low U.S. and OPEC production is bringing global inflation and record high oil company profits. The U.S. weekly oil rig count rose 576. The slow rig increase will bring a slow oil production increase. U.S. natural gas price fell to $8.06 per million BTUs, but it's still near a 14-year high. This is on demand from Europe as Russia has been halting deliveries to European countries. Higher natural gas prices are raising U.S. electrical rates as the U.S. increases exports to Europe. Scrap steel number one HMS price settled at $443 a gross ton, with downward pressure for June. U.S. steel mills are importing cheaper foreign scrap, while export scrap is harder to sell. Hot rolled coil steel price fell to $65.50 per hundredweight, which is $13.10 a ton. This is on slow economic growth and imports taking market share. Copper price rose to $4.30 a pound on China's easing of COVID restrictions. Note, China is about 50% of global copper demand. Aluminum price also rose to $1.43 a pound, which is $31.52 a metric ton, on the same China's easing of COVID restrictions, while there are less Russian aluminum exports. United Kingdom April inflation. It jumped to 9%, the highest in 40 years. Higher energy and food prices are affecting all major global economies. The U.S. April retail sales increased 0.9% from March and 8.2% from last year. Americans are spending despite inflation. U.S. April housing starts fell to 1.724 million annualized, remaining high. Single-family homes fell 7.3%, while multi-unit homes actually rose 16.8%. Federal Reserve higher interest rates are making it tougher to buy homes. U.S. April industrial production rose 1.1% from March, above the 0.5% forecast. Manufacturing and utilities both rose as year-over-year production was up 6.4%. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 935 points to 31,262, its 8th weekly straight loss, the longest losing streak since 1923, 99 years ago. Inflation hitting major retailers' profits hurt investors' mood. Gondola trailers for sale at Bentley. 48-foot and 53-foot long and 8-foot high are the most common, but we do build custom sizes. We only use Hardox high-strength steel for walls and floors. This makes them light, but incredibly strong. Call us for a quote. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.